Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Homage to our teacher, Pinnath Lokasan Mahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, our Supreme Teacher taught us how to use our words, right? So, how to use our verbal behavior, bodily behavior, and mental behavior. So, by that mindfully using that, so we can avoid collecting unwholesome bad karma and also developing good karma. So that Buddha explained especially so which kind of talk we have to talk, usually 10 important talks, right? So sometimes we do not consider that the importance of important talks, usually that we attach to 32 unwanted topics of talk. What are those things? Unwanted topics of talk. So we all know that those things, right? So, and we don't have to mention all these things because we discuss about that those talks, they are not useful to develop our wisdom. So especially Buddha showed us the 10 important topics, right? So let me share with you some to refresh your mind. So the 10 important topics. So we are going to discuss today the sutta related to that one, importance of using the 10 important topic of talks. So today we are going to discuss the sutta, Rathavinītasutta in Majjhima Nikaya, right? 24th sutta, Majjhima Nikaya. So before we go to sutta, let me share with you some information here. We are going to discuss the Rathavinītasutta. This in relay chariot, Majjhima Nikaya 24th sutta. What are the 10 topics of important talks, right? These are the things, 10 proper topic of discussion. First one, talk about the fewness of desire. In Pali, it is called appicca kata, fewness or lessness of our desire. And the second one, Buddha talk about contentment, santutti kata. The third one, talk about solitude, paviveka kata. It's very easy to remember with the Pali word, paviveka kata. And talk about not being bound up with others, asansagga kata. Right? So we like to, bond with others all the time, chat with others, right? Buddha explained that important with the detachment is detachment from others and stay alone. And asansagga kata. Talk about arousing energy, viryarambha kata. Okay, so, and develop our energy. And talk about virtuous behavior, sila kata. Okay, then talk about concentration, samadhi kata, and talk about wisdom, panya kata, and talk about liberation, vimukti kata. So talk about knowledge and vision of liberation, vimukti, jnana dassana kata. So those are the important 10 proper topics for discussion. So what will happen when we discuss those things? It will help us to develop our wisdom right? So it is, we develop a lot of good karma. We are not using our words to develop unwholesome things. Okay, so, and sometimes we use the word sometimes without knowing, we break others' friendships, right? So sometimes we hurt others. When we develop our mindfulness, we know that those talks we have to have. Those are the 10 important topics of talk. Okay, that there was a Bhante that time. He always treated all the monks with these 10 proper topics of discussion, right? So we are going to learn today about this sutta, about that Bhante. Okay, so let me share with you that that sutta. Okay, this is the Rathavinītasutta, right? So, and that time actually Supreme Buddha was living at Rajagaha, the bamboo grove, the squirrel sanctuary. Right? So you know that story about the squirrel sanctuary. One time that one of the king, when he was sleeping there because he was drunk, the smell of drunk, that one snake came to attack him. That time one of the tree deva, he disguised himself as a squirrel and he came closer to his ear, and he was shouting. That time the king woke and he came to know that one snake came to attack him. So he saved his life, though. Because of that reason, he made the place as a scholar sanctuary. Okay, and now you know that the first monastery offered by King Bimbisara. That time Buddha was living in Rajagaha in the bamboo grove, the scholar sanctuary. Then a number of bhikkhus from the Blessed One's native land. What is the native land? Buddha was born that they are the Kapilavattu, who had spent the rains there. So that some bhikkhus, they were in that Kapilavattu, they spent their rainy season in there. Then they came to see the Blessed One. Then they, after they worshipped the Supreme Buddha, they sat down one side. Then that time, the Blessed One asked them, bhikkhus, who is in my native land is esteemed by bhikkhus there. He did not ask about that, about his parents, right? Buddha never talked about his parents and what happened to my relatives. He did not ask about that. But he asked bhikkhus who is in my native land is esteemed by bhikkhus there, by his companions in the holy life. In this way, who is motivating there, having few wishes himself, he does not have any too much gathering, and he has few wishes himself. He talks to the bhikkhus on fewness of wishes. And having those things, he talk about that good things of fewness of wishes, right? Content himself, he talked to the bhikkhus on contentment, secluded himself. He is living alone, even though he stay all the monks together, but he is in a secluded mind, secluded himself. And he talks about that one. He asks other monks, he motivates other monks to live in that way. Okay. He talks to the bhikkhus on seclusion, aloof from the society himself. He talks to the bhikkhus on aloofness from society. Energetic himself, he talks to the bhikkhus on arousing energy, like develop his virya and energy. And by his energetic himself, and also he talks about all these 10 important topic of talk. Attend to virtue himself, he talks to the bhikkhus on the attainment of virtue. And attain to the concentration himself, he talks to the bhikkhus on attainment of concentration, right? So here concentration, that higher level of concentration, like form and formless attainment, okay? Attain to wisdom himself, he talked to the bhikkhus on the attainment of wisdom. And attainment to deliverance himself, he talks to the bhikkhus on the attainment of deliverance. So attain to the knowledge and vision of deliverance himself, he talks to the bhikkhus on the attainment of knowledge and vision of deliverance. He is one who advises, informs, instructs, urges, rouses, and gladdens his companion in the holy life. This is one of the monk who was doing this one. Okay, and he was using 10 important topic of talk, and he encouraged others to do that way. Okay, we discussed that, that Appicha Kata, Santutti Kata, Pavivek Kata, Asansagga Kata, all the kind of 10 important topics.
Venerable Sir, the Venerable Punna Mantaniputta is so esteemed in the Blessed One's native land by the bhikkhus there, by his companions in the holy life. Now on that occasion, the Venerable Sariputta was seated near the Blessed One. Then it occurred to the Venerable Sariputta, it is a gain for the Venerable Punna Mantaniputta. It is a great gain for him that his wise companions in the holy life praise him point by point in the teacher's presence. Perhaps sometime or other, we might meet the Venerable Punna Mantaniputta and have some conversation with him.
All the monks explained. So it was that who was the monk? Punna Mantaniputta, right? So, and he is the one from Supreme Buddha's native land. When this one heard by Sariputta Bhante, so he thought, okay, it's better to have some chat with this important monk.
Then, when the Blessed One had stayed at Rajagaha as long as he chose, he set out to wander by stages to Savatthi. Wandering by stages, he eventually arrived at Savatthi, and there he lived in Cheta's Grove, Anathapindika's park.
Yeah, because Supreme Buddha left her from that place, and after that he came to city of Savatthi. So the Buddha actually that used the two types of walk. One is called Turita Charika. Turita Charika means that he's using his psychic power. He travels really fast, right, to one place to another. For example, he went to meet Maha Kassapa Bhante, right? So he went 3 yojanas, like 30 kilometers he traveled because Maha Kassapa Bhante was sick. He traveled very fast and chanted Maha Kassapa Tera. And also that to tame Alaka Yakka, he traveled that 30 yojana, like 300 kilometers right away to teach him the Dhamma, right? And to meet Angulimala, he traveled 45 yojanas, like that means 450 kilometers he traveled. And even the Pukkusati, who was the king, then he came to, by mistake, he went to Supreme Buddha was in Savatthi, but he went to Rajagaha to meet him. Buddha knew that he was coming to meet him, that he traveled to meet Pukkusati. That's also 450 yojanas. Also to meet Mahakappina Bhante, he went 2,000 yojanas. All these psychic powers. And there's another Bhante called Khadira Revata Bhante. He traveled 7,000 yojanas, right? So there's another Bhante who was Vanavasika Tissa. He traveled that 2,000 yojanas and another few kilometers because he was practicing the Dhamma. He was about to attain enlightenment. Buddha traveled with all the 500 monks. That is called Turita Charika. So travel very fast. Then another type of walk Buddha had, Aturita Charika. Aturita Charika means that Buddha is normally he is walking with monks through some areas. Right? Then people, they have that pleasant mind and they worship the Buddha, and so all Mahasangha, they can collect good karma, and so they can offer dana, that food items to Supreme Buddha. This kind of Aturita Charika or normal travel, there are 3 types of travel Buddha had. One is called Mahamandala Charika. So Mahamandala Charika means that he's traveling a lot of distance, like 900 yojana, like 9,000 kilometers. He takes that 9 months to travel there. Then other one is called Madhya Mandala Charika. So in the inner areas he is traveling. And he traveled that 600 yojana. So usually he took 8 months to travel all these things. So that inner provinces he travels. 3,000 kilometers, like 300 yojana. So to travel these areas, he took sometimes 7 months, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 5 months, 4 months. He travels with all the monks, and people had the chance to offer dana, and they have pleasant mind. When we see that Buddha and all the Sangha, they had pleasant mind, that also they are collecting good karma. So, and also he got the chance to meet the people and preach the Dhamma, right? So this kind of true travel. Now, from this one, he did not travel very fast, but he traveled from Rajagaha to city of Savatthi. It was Aturita Charika.
The Venerable Puna Mantaniputta heard, the Blessed One has arrived at Savatthi and is living in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's Park. Then the Venerable Puna Mantaniputta set his resting place in order, and taking his outer robe and bowl, set out to wander by stages to Savatthi. Wandering by stages, he eventually arrived at Savatthi and went to Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's Park, to see the Blessed One. After paying homage to the Blessed One, he sat down at one side, and the Blessed One instructed, urged, roused, and gladdened him with talk on the Dhamma. Then the Venerable Puna Mantaniputta instructed, urged, roused, and gladdened by the Blessed One's talk on the Dhamma, delighting and rejoicing in the Blessed One's words, rose from his seat, and after paying homage to the Blessed One, keeping him on his right, he went to the blind man's grove for the day's abiding.
Yeah, so that Venerable Punna Mantaniputta, he came and he talked with the Supreme Buddha. And after that, he went to a place called Blind Men's Grove. So there's a story behind the Blind Men's Grove. Why it is called Blind Men's Grove? Kashyapa Buddha's time, there were 500 thieves. They tried to steal all the golden brought to build that Kashyapa Buddha's stupa. So as a result of that, they lost their eyesight, all the 500 thieves. So people used to bring food and gave them. They were living in that forest. Still, in the Buddha's time, after in the Buddhantara Kalpa, from Kashyapa Buddhas to our Buddhas, in time period, we call that eons, Buddhantara Kalpa, from appear to one Buddha to another Buddha. So why it is called Buddhantara Kalpa? So Kashyapa Buddha, at the time that people lived 20,000 years, those 20,000 years reduced to up to 10 years. Right? Then people start to killing each other. Then after that, they are understood that the lifespan increased to infinite number of times. Then after that starts to reduce again. Okay, that up to Buddha's time, people live only 120 years. So during that period, even that's for a long time, so this grove is called Blind Man's Grove. But still, if you go to India, but still you can see that Varanasi, they call Varanasi, and those are, the same blend of names in the all the cities, right? In they call Patliputra, now they call Patna. So those names are there, still the names are existing. Now those days is a very good place to meditate. So Mantaniputta Bhante went to that place to have meditation.
Then a certain bhikkhu went to the Venerable Sariputta and said to him, Friend Sariputta, the bhikkhu Punna Mantaniputta, of whom you have always spoken highly, has just been instructed, urged, roused, and gladdened by the Blessed One with talk on the Dhamma. After delighting and rejoicing in the Blessed One's words, he rose from his seat, and after paying homage to the Blessed One, keeping him on his right, he has gone to the blind man's grove for the day's abiding.
Yeah. So then what happened? So that all the monks, the monk came because Sariputta Bhante was thinking to meet him. So other Bhantes reported him that he came and he discussed with Supreme Buddha, and he went to blind man's grove to meditate.
Then the Venerable Sariputta hurriedly took his sitting cloth and followed close behind the Venerable Punna Mantaniputta, keeping his head in sight. Then the Venerable Punna Mataniputta entered the blind man's grove and sat down for the day's abiding at the root of a tree. The Venerable Sariputta also entered the blind man's grove and sat down for the day's abiding at the root of a tree.
So, and you know that he did not hurry to go. Sariputta Bhante didn't have any hurry to go and introduce himself, right? So, I'm Sariputta Bhante, but he just followed him.
Then when it was evening, the Venerable Sariputta rose from meditation, went to the Venerable Punna Mataniputta and exchanged greetings with him. When this courteous and amiable talk was finished, he sat down at one side and said to the Venerable Punna Mataniputta.
So, and because Sariputta Bhante did not disturb him, and he sat down aside, and he also started to meditate. When Punna Bhante woke from his meditation, that time, Sariputta Bhante went to him and talked to him. Okay, so this is nice discussion with that all the two Bhantes. They are, Sariputta Bhante, he is foremost from wisdom, and Mantaniputta Bhante also, he is great from wisdom. So this is the discussion with all these two Bhantes. It's very interesting sutta.
Is the holy life lived under our Blessed One, friend? Yes, friend. But, friend, is it for the sake of purification of virtue that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? No, friend. Then is it for the sake of purification of mind that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? No, friend. Then is it for the sake of purification of view that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? No, friend. Then is it for the sake of purification by overcoming doubt that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? No, friend. Then is it for the sake of purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? No, friend. Then is it for the sake of purification by knowledge and vision of the way that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? No, friend. Then is it for the sake of purification by knowledge and vision that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? No, friend.
Yeah, so did you see that he's asking, Sariputta Bhante is asking for Punna Bhante, is the holy life lived under our Blessed One, friend? So are you living in the holy life? Yes, friend. What, friend, is it for the sake of purification of virtue that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? The purification of virtue, that is called Sila Visuddhi. There are 10 noble purification. So keeping this one here, let me go and discuss with 10 noble purification. This is 7 noble purification. The first one is called purification of virtue. In Pali, it is called Sila Visuddhi. Okay, sorry about that. And next one, purification of mind. It's called Chitta Visuddhi. The third one is called purification of view, Ditti Visuddhi. The fourth one is purification by overcoming doubt. This is called Kankavitarana Visuddhi. Then fifth one is called purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path. This is called Magga Jnana Dassana Visuddhi. And purification by knowledge and vision of the way, Patipada Jnana Dassana Visuddhi. Then purification by knowledge and vision, Jnana Dassana Visuddhi. Somebody should achieve Sila Visuddhi, purification of virtue, in order to achieve the Chitta Visuddhi, which is called purification of mind. Then after he achieved the Chitta Visuddhi, purification of mind, he can achieve purification of view, Ditti Visuddhi. Okay? Then somebody achieve the purification of view, Ditti Visuddhi, he can overcome the doubt. He can purify purification by overcoming doubt, Kankavitarana Visuddhi. If somebody achieved that, he removed all his doubt, right? He purified his doubt, and then next step is that Magga Jnana Dassana Visuddhi. because he purified by the knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path. He has a very good idea what's the path and what is the not the path. When he develop his Magga Jnana Dassana Visuddhi, he can achieve the next level, the sixth, that purification by knowledge and vision of the way, which is called Patipada Jnana Dassana Visuddhi. The seventh one is purification by knowledge and vision. So that is called Jnana Dassana Visuddhi. And after this one, he will achieve Vimukti Jnana. So unshakable liberation, which is called Akuppa Cheto Vimukti. Okay. Somebody wants to achieve Chitta Visuddhi, purification of mind, he should purify his virtues. Okay. So somebody wants to achieve Ditti Visuddhi, is the purification of his view. He has to achieve purification of mind. If somebody wants to achieve Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi, he has to achieve purification of view. If somebody wants to achieve Magga Jnana Dassana Visuddhi, he has to remove his doubt about the path, that purification, overcoming doubt. Or somebody wants to achieve the Patipada Jnana Dassana Visuddhi, he has to achieve Magga Jnana Dassana Visuddhi. Okay, that purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path. And if somebody wants to achieve Jnana Dassana Visuddhi, he has to achieve Patipada Jnana Dassana Visuddhi, purification by knowledge and vision of the way. Or then after that, the last one, purification by knowledge and vision. So Sariputta Bhante is asking about these questions about Sila Visuddhi. Is he living this whole life to achieve Sila Visuddhi? He said no. He asked that, are you living whole life to achieve Chitta Visuddhi? He said no. Then Ditti Visuddhi? He said no. Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi? He said no. Right? So by looking at this one, let's go to the Sutta and we can, this is the way, right? Is the whole life lived under our Blessed One, friends? Yes, friend. But friend, is it for the sake of purification of virtue that the whole life is lived under the Blessed One? He said, no. What is this one? Purification of virtue? Sila Visuddhi. And then it is for the sake of purification of mind. The whole life is lived under the Blessed One. That means Chitta Visuddhi. No, friend. Then is it that for the sake of purification of view that the whole life is lived under the Blessed One? That is Ditti Visuddhi? He said, no. Then is it for the sake of purification by overcoming doubt that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One, which is called Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi? He said, no, friend. Then is it for the sake of purification by the knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? That is called Magga Jnana Dassana Visuddhi. And he said, no, friend. Then is it for the sake of purification by knowledge and vision of the way that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? That is called Patipada Jnana Dassana Visuddhi. He said, no, friend. Then is it for the sake of purification by knowledge and vision that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? He said, no, friend. That is called Jnana Dassana Visuddhi. Now, so he said everything. No, right? Okay, let's go through the sutta and read this one. Okay.
Friend, when asked, but friend, is it for the sake of purification of virtue that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? You replied, no, friend. When asked, then is it for the sake of purification of mind, purification of view, purification by overcoming doubt, purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path, purification by knowledge and vision of the way, purification by knowledge and vision that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? You replied, no, friend. For the sake of what then, friend? is the holy life lived under the Blessed One?
Okay. So then Sariputta Bhante asked the question again. Okay, now let's go to next one. What his reply is.
Friend, it is for the sake of final Nibbana without clinging that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One. But friend, is purification of virtue final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification of mind final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification of view final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification by overcoming doubt final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification by knowledge and vision of the way final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. Then is purification by knowledge and vision final Nibbana without clinging? No, friend. But friend, is final Nibbana without clinging to be attained without these states? No, friend.
Okay. So Mantaniputta Bhante replied, so what is that? When it is sake for final Nibbana without clinging, that holy life is lived under the Blessed One. So what is his target? This achievement is final Nibbana. So then Sariputta Bhante asked, okay, but friend, is purification of virtue final Nibbana without clinging? He asked that, is that Sila Visuddhi is the final Nibbana? He said, no. So then Sariputta Bhante asked, then purification of mind, the Chitta Visuddhi is the final Nibbana? He said, no. Right? Then he asked that, is that Ditti Visuddhi, the purification of view? He said, no. Right? So he asked, Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi is the final Nibbana? He said, no. Then he asked that Magga Magga Jnanadassana Visuddhi? He said, it's the final Nibbana? He said, no. So each and everyone he asked, then Patipada Jnanadassana Visuddhi is the final Nibbana? He said, no. Then Jnanadassana Visuddhi? So he said, no. Then what happened?
When asked, but friend, is purification of virtue final Nibbana without clinging? You replied, no, friend. When asked, then is purification of mind, purification of view, purification by overcoming doubt, purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path, purification by knowledge and vision of the way, purification by knowledge and vision, final Nibbana without clinging? You replied, no, friend. And when asked, but friend, is final Nibbana without clinging to be attained without these states? You replied, no, friend. But how, friend, should the meaning of these statements be regarded?
Yeah. Okay, then after that, Sariputta Bhante asked a question from him, right? So all the status that if somebody achieved this one, is the Nibbana? He said, no, right? Is there any Sila Visuddhi? Is the Nibbana? No. He said, no. And Chitta Visuddhi is no. He said, Ditti Visuddhi? No. Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi? He said, no. Then Magga Magga Jnanadassana Visuddhi? He said, no. Then Patipada Jnanadassana Visuddhi? He said, no. Then Jnanadassana Visuddhi? He said, no. Then what he asked the meaning? What's the meaning of this one? Okay. So then he replied, friend, if the Blessed One had described purification of virtues as final Nibbana without clinging, he would have described what is still accompanied by clinging as final Nibbana without clinging, right? If Supreme explained somebody who achieved the final Nibbana just achieved the Sila Visuddhi, right? So then Supreme explained that somebody is having the defilements, still that unwholesome things inside within him, right? If the Blessed One had described purification of mind and purification of view and purification by overcoming doubt, purification by knowledge and vision of what is path and what is not the path, then purification by knowledge and vision of the way, purification by knowledge and vision as final Nibbana without clinging, he would have described that is still accompanied by clinging as final Nibbana without clinging. Okay? And if final Nibbana without clinging were to be attained without these states, then an ordinary person would have attained final Nibbana, for an ordinary person is without these states. So by just achieving one Visuddhi, like Sila Visuddhi or the Visuddhi, that is not achieve the final Nibbana. Okay, that if it is so, somebody can attain final Nibbana, those who are having all these unwholesome things. Ordinary people can attain Nibbana. And further, he explained here that the Mantaniputta Bhante is going to explain really nicely what is the meaning of all these things and what are the 7 noble purification. The first one is Sila Visuddhi, right? And somebody should come to Sila Visuddhi in order to achieve the Chitta Visuddhi. Second one is Chitta Visuddhi. The third one is Ditti Visuddhi. The fourth one is removing the doubt, Kanka Vitarana Visuddhi. And next one is Magga Jnana Darsana Visuddhi. He has the clear idea of what is the path, what is not the path. And Patipada Jnana Darsana Visuddhi, he has knowledge of the way, right? And last one, he has Jnana Darsana Visuddhi, he has vision and knowledge of the path. Okay, so now here, the Bhante is going to explain very well.
As to that, friend, I shall give you a simile, for some wise men understand the meaning of a statement by means of a simile. Suppose that King Pasenadi of Kosala, while living at Savatthi, had some urgent business to settle in Saketa, and that between Savatthi and Saketa 7 relay chariots were kept ready for him. Then King Pasenadi of Kosala, leaving Savatthi through the inner palace door, would mount the first relay chariot, and by means of the first relay chariot he would arrive at the second relay chariot. Then he would dismount from the first chariot and mount the second chariot, and by means of the second chariot he would arrive at the third chariot. By means of the third chariot he would arrive at the fourth chariot. By means of the fourth chariot he would arrive at the fifth chariot. By means of the fifth chariot he would arrive at the sixth chariot. By means of the sixth chariot he would arrive at the seventh chariot. And by means of the seventh chariot he would arrive at the inner palace door in Saketa. Then, when he had come to the inner palace door, his friends and acquaintances, his kinsmen and relatives would ask him, "Sire, did you come from Savatthi to the inner palace door in Saketa by means of this relay chariot?" How then should King Pasenadi of Kosala answer in order to answer correctly?
Yeah, because he came from starting where he started from, that in this simile, King Pasenadi Kosala, he has something to do. He wanted to go to Saketa, right? He has some urgent business. There's no straight path from city of Savatthi to city of Saketa. And between Savatthi and Saketa, 7 relay chariots were kept ready for him. So there are 7, right? Then King Pasenadi Kosala, leaving Savatthi through the inner palace door, would mount the first relay chariot, right? And by means of the first relay chariot, he would arrive at the second relay chariot. So then he would dismount from the first chariot and mount the second chariot. And by means of the second chariot, he would arrive at the third chariot. Likewise, he get off from one chariot, he get into another chariot, he used that all the 7 chariot. Then after that, he came to Saketa. The person in Saketa, he asked that, "Sire, did you come from Savatthi to the inner palace door of Saketa by means of this relay chariot?" He asked that the last chariot, the 7th one, if King Pasenadi Kosala answered correctly, how he should reply?
In order to answer correctly, friend, he should answer thus. Here, while living at Savatthi, I had some urgent business to settle at Saketa. And between Savatthi and Saketa, 7 relay chariots were kept ready for me. Then, leaving Savatthi through the inner palace door, I mounted the first relay chariot, and by means of the first relay chariot, I arrived at the second relay chariot. Then I dismounted from the first chariot and mounted the second chariot, and by means of the second chariot, I arrived at the third, and so on the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th chariot. And by means of the 7th chariot, I arrived at the inner palace door in Saketa. In order to answer correctly, he should answer thus.
Yes, so this is the way he came, right? This, for example, if we want to go by bus to Ottawa. We cannot go directly. We have to go from this monastery, and we should find someone to go to the bus, and we should go to the subway or somewhere, and we have to go to from subway. We have to go to the place. We take the bus. We can go to the Ottawa. So if you want to go from Ottawa to Montreal, we have to take another bus to go to Montreal, right? So, and we don't have bus to go from the monastery directly to Ottawa. So therefore, we have to use that one. Same like those 7 chariots we have to use.
So too, friend, purification of virtue is for the sake of reaching purification of mind. Purification of mind is for the sake of reaching purification of view. Purification of view is for the sake of reaching purification by overcoming doubt. Purification by overcoming doubt is for the sake of reaching purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path. Purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path is for the sake of reaching purification by knowledge and vision of the way. Purification by knowledge and vision of the way is for the sake of reaching purification by knowledge and vision. Purification by knowledge and vision is for the sake of reaching final nibbana without clinging. It is for the sake of final nibbana without clinging that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One.
Yeah. So then, if somebody wants to achieve that final nibbana, he should achieve jnana dassana visuddhi, purification by knowledge and vision, right? So if somebody wants to achieve jnana dassana visuddhi, so he should achieve patipada jnana dassana visuddhi. If somebody wants to achieve that patipada jnana dassana visuddhi, he has to achieve magga jnana dassana visuddhi. If somebody wants to clear the path, but it's the path and not, then he has to remove the doubt of the path. He has to purify his doubt. If somebody wants to purify his doubt, he has to purify his ditti visuddhi, that is view. Then, if somebody wants to purify his view, he has to purify his mind, chitta visuddhi. So if somebody wants to purify the chitta visuddhi, achieve the chitta visuddhi, purification of mind, he has to achieve purification of virtue, sila.
When this was said, the Venerable Sariputta asked the Venerable Puna Mantaniputta, "What is the Venerable One's name, and how do his companions in the holy life know the Venerable One?" "My name is Puna, friend, and my companions in the holy life know me as Mantaniputta." "It is wonderful, friend. It is marvelous. Each profound question has been answered, point by point, by the Venerable Puna Mantaniputta, as a learned disciple who understands the teacher's dispensation correctly. It is a gain for his companions in the holy life. It is a great gain for them that they have the opportunity to see and honor the Venerable Puna Mantaniputta. even if it were by carrying the Venerable Puna Mantaniputta about on a cushion on their heads, that his companions in the holy life would get the opportunity to see and honor him. It would be a gain for them, a great gain for them. And it is a gain for us, a great gain for us, that we have the opportunity to see and honor the Venerable Puna Mantaniputta.
Who is saying this? Sariputta Bhante is saying that he was happy and he's praising that Mantaniputta Bhante. Until then, he did not know about it, whom he was talking to. Someone else can read this one?
When this was said, the Venerable Punna Mantaniputta asked the Venerable Sariputta, "What is the Venerable One's name? And how do his companions in the holy life know the Venerable One?" "My name is Upatissa, friend, and my companions in the holy life know me as Sariputta." "Indeed, friend, we did not know that we were talking to the Venerable Sariputta, the disciple who is like the teacher himself. If we had known that this was the Venerable Sariputta, we should not have said so much. It is wonderful, friend. It is marvelous. Each profound question has been posed point by the Venerable Sariputta as a learned disciple who understands the teacher's dispensation correctly. It is a gain for his companions in the holy life. It is a great gain for them that they have the opportunity to see and honor the Venerable Sariputta, even if it were by carrying the Venerable Sariputta about on a cushion on their heads, that his companions in the holy life would get the opportunity to see and honor him. It would be a gain for them, a great gain for them. And it is a gain for us, a great gain for us, that we have the opportunity to see and honor the Venerable Sariputta. Thus it was that these two great beings rejoiced in each other's good words. Sadhu.
Yeah, so that in those days it is a little bit different, right? So Sariputta Bhante did not jump and told, "Oh, I am Sariputta," right? So I'm Sariputta, I'm the that I'm the chief disciple of Supreme Buddha. But after that, when he asked, he said, my name is Upatissa, and the holy life known me as Sariputta, because Sariputta means Sari is his mother's name. His son, that is called Sariputta. That's why he said he was called Sariputta. This was that 7 noble purification. Let's go to our previous one. Now, purification of virtue, Sila Visuddhi, purification of mind, Chitta Visuddhi, purification of view, Ditti Visuddhi, purification by overcoming doubt, Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi, purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path, Magga Magga Jnana Darsana Visuddhi, then purification by knowledge and vision of the way, Patipada Jnana Darsana Visuddhi, then purification by knowledge and vision, Jnana Darsana Visuddhi. Somebody wants to achieve enlightenment, he should achieve purification by knowledge and vision. He cannot achieve this level, that purification of knowledge and vision, without achieving purification by knowledge and vision of the way. In order to achieve that, he should have a vision of what is the path and what is not the path, right? And also he should overcome his doubt, and he should be purified his view, and he should purify his mind and virtue, right? So, and do you remember in the beginning of this sutta, from how that he advised to all his monks? What was the way he advised? He advised from 10 important topic of talk, right? So, Apicca Kata, and after that, Santutti Kata, all these things he advised. How those things help to achieve the 7 noble purification. Okay, let's go further. The fewness of desire, which is called Apicca Kata. So this is the reason that Buddha explained. First one is called Pratya Apiccata. without collecting robes, food, putis, medicine, and sweet drinks, the monks or nuns, without collecting all those things, he's satisfied with whatever the things he gets, right? And he does not collect all those things, robes, foods, putis, medicine. That is called pratyalpechata. Then second one is called dutangalpechata. You know that they practice austerities. That is called dutanga. What are these dutanga that they follow that all these austerities? There's a nice discussion between King Milinda and Nagasena, enlightened monk, Bante. One time he asked King Milinda from Nagasena Bante, who was an enlightened monk, why these monks are practicing dutanga and in order to achieve enlightenment. In the same time, some lay people, they are following enlightenment, they achieve enlightenment without following dutanga. Then there's no use of following dutanga, all these austerities, right? That time, Nagasena Bhante explained. So actually, in the Buddha's time, in the city of Savatthi, it was, I think it is 50 million people were living there. Out of the 50 million, like 30 million, they achieve some level, either Sotapanna, Sakudagami, Anagami, Arhat. And Nagasena Bhante explained that out of all these 30 million, 375,000 people, they are Anagami, non-returners. And he explained that even though they are following the lay life, in the previous life, they followed the dutanga, right, austerities. That's how, as a result of that, those things help to understand their path, right, understand the enlightenment. So what is this dutanga? First one is called Pansu Kulikangaya. The monk, they satisfied whatever the things they collect from the cemetery, rags. They prepare the robes with rags. They don't go to the disciples to collect clothes to make robe. That is called Pansa Kulikangaya. So that's nice thing happened in the Buddha's time. So Buddha put that one of the rule, because one monk went to the charnel ground. One dead body was there with a cloth, and he took that cloth for the dead body because his ghost was around the dead body. The dead body stood up and started to come behind the monk. Monk start to run. All the way he came to the kuti and he closed the kuti, and all that body came and hit the door and fell down. And Bhante came out and he took from his legs and brought to the cemetery and charnel ground, dropped there again. And Buddha put that because there's a possibility that his ghost will around there. Therefore, touch all these things after 7 days, right? So this is called, and even that Mahakashyap Bhante, he never used that regular clothes to make his robe. Always, he took the clothes or the rags or from the cemeteries. Okay, this is called Pansa Kulikange. Okay, and so there's another one who's called Techivari. So he does not use any other additional clothes. He just used only 3 robes. What are 3 robes? Twin robe, single robe, and underrobe. He lives without using. Now, when we live in Canada, so we cannot use this one because we have to put the jackets and we have to put the sweaters, right? But those days, monks, they live only for 3 robes. Next one is called Pindapatikange. The third one, they survive from the food just going from alms round. They do not accept any food bringing for them. They go for alms round. Okay. And there's another one is called that Sapadana Charikange. So they don't miss houses and go for tasty food. They go for, start from first house, second house, third house, fourth house, likewise. If they know that every day when they go for alms round, this house, they don't give that tasty food, he does not bypass. Without bypassing, he is going to every houses. That is called Sapadana Charikange. Then there's another one is called Ekasanikange. He does not eat food using different chairs. He use only one chair. always use that one chair to eat food, right? Sometimes, that householders, they when they feel that, oh, I had to go to the sofa and have my dinner or lunch, right? In this case, he does not change. And also that Patta Pinda Kangi Kangiya, the sixth one, he does not use any other bowl or any other things. He used only his bowl to eat everything, right? So this is the sixth one. And likewise, seventh one, it is called Kalu Pacha Bhattikangaya. So whatever he takes only once, he does not get the second or third serve. Only once whatever he gets, and he eats it. And then the eighth one is called Aranyikangaya. So he is living only for that remote areas. He does not come to the city monasteries closer to city. He lives in the far away, right? So it is called Aranyikangaya. And there's another one is called he lives under the root of a tree. He does not go, he's living, there's no cover, just under the root of the tree. It is called Rukkamulikangaya. Now, 11th one is called the Abhokasikangaya. So there's no shelter. There's no, even he does not use under the root of tree. He's just a space, open space he is living. Okay. And there's another one, it's called Sosanikangaya. That is the meaning of this one. He is going to meditate at night time to the charnel ground. He is living at the night in the charnel ground, meditating entire night. Okay. And other one is Yata Santikangaya. Whatever the room, he does not say this room is not good, it is too cold, too hot. He used that, right? Whatever he gets that. Another one is Nesajjikangaya, and he lives just only 3 postures. In the night time, he does not sleep on the bed, right? Only 3 postures: sitting, standing, and walking posture, right? So that is called Dutanga. Dutanga Apichata. Then other one is called Paryapti Apichata. Paryapti Apichata, actually, so he knows the Dhamma very well, but nobody knows that. It does not show that he knows that Dhamma. Okay, so that is called Paryapta Apichata. And fourth one is called Adhigama Apichata. Adhigama Apichata. But he has achieved some level, either Sotapanna, Sakudagami, Anagami, or Arhat, but he does not show it to the world, right? So, and even that Dutanga, somebody is following Dutanga, he does not show into others. There was a nice incident happened in the Buddha's time. Both 2 monks were going one of the journey together. Nighttime they were sleeping, and one monk, they observed that Dutanga not to use that sleeping posture. That nighttime, one monk was lying down, other one is sitting down and meditating. That when the thundering happened, he saw that one monk was not sleeping. He asked that, are you following Dutanga? Right? So he just gave up his Dutanga and he lied down. When he was sleeping, he got up and again he started to meditate. So therefore that it does not show to others, right? So it is not the market oneself to show that we are following the Dutanga. And also Paryapti, that he knows Dhamma very well, but he is living like, he doesn't know anything. Right? Adhigama Alpechata, he has achieved some level, but he is living like he does not know anything. So next one is called the Santuttikata, the contentment. There are 3 things in the Santuttikata. Yatalabha Santutti. So Yatalabha Santutti, that whatever the robe, he gets, whatever good or bad, he is happy with that. Whatever the koti he gets, he is happy with that. He does not see that, okay, good koti. That is called Yatalabha Santuttita. And also Yatabala Santuttita. He knows Dhamma very well, but nobody knows that. Okay. And also that he, no, not actually Yatabala Santuttita is that wrong type in here. So whatever he gets, that good robes, he offered to the monks and he's happy with the monks, whatever give them. Another one is Yata Sarupa Santuttita. Whatever he gets good things, he offered to the senior monks. He is happy with that. That is the second one. Okay, the third one is called Pavivek Kata, the solitude. There are three types of solitude. Kaya Paviveka. This Kaya Paviveka, this is the way that, that those days enlightened monks, that how they practice their enlightenment, how they practice the path, right? Therefore, it is very important to know, at least we have pleasant mind that what they did. Kaya Pavivekata. Kaya Pavivekata, that he live alone and go alone, sleep alone, go for arms round alone and walk alone. These days, people cannot even think that living alone, right? They live alone, not with the TV, not with the smartphone. They live alone in the forest, right? Then Chitta Pavivekata, achieve formless and form jhana. Like first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and also formless jhana. Akasanyayatana, Vinyachanyayatana, Akinchanyayatana, Neva Sanyana, Sanyayatana. All these four formless jhana. Another one is called Upadi Paviveka. So liberate from the unwholesome things. He liberate from all these unwholesome thoughts. This is called Paviveka Kata, the solitude. So the fourth one, not being bound up with others, is called Asansagga Kata. Usually people like to join, bound, or attach with others, right? In this case, actually, people live, this is the way they live, Sravana Sansagga. So Sravana Sansagga means that enjoy the silly and unwholesome things, listening to those things. Darshana Sansagga is enjoyed by seeing the silly things. Samulapana Sansagga, enjoy talking with another man or woman. Those days, monks, they cannot join that talking with women, right? Even that enjoy with men, just talking and unnecessary things. Sambhoga Sansagga, use the requisites with the attachment of the giver. And also Sambhoga Sansagga means that somebody gave that his prerequisites and he attached because of the giving with that with the giver. Then other one is Kaya Sansagga, enjoy touching hands, hair, etc. from others, right? So that's called Asansagga Kata. Viryarambha Kata. So Viryarambha Kata is you talk about the things to develop your energy. It is said that if you have unwholesome things while you are sitting, without going to any other posture, you have to remove that. So you develop such a way that you develop your energy to remove unwholesome things, the place you are sitting, without going to another posture. It is same like that you are trying to remove very poisonous snake just closer to you. So you just go away from there, okay? Or like some enemy is holding from your neck, you are trying to leave that person. Then also that virtuous behavior, we'll talk about virtuous behavior, that for the monks this is called Sila Kata, about virtuous behavior. So monks, it is 227 precepts, which is called Pratimoksa Sangvara Sila, and also that you tame the faculties. Okay, so, and you don't use that all the faculties to get the symbols and remember the things, and also that recall again and again and have a unwholesome things. Then other one is Samadhi Kata. Samadhi Kata is about formless jhana or form jhana, the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, Samadhi Kata, and Panya Kata, and Vimukti Jnana Darsana Kata. Okay, so now if you go to last slide here, this is how that all these things you can achieve. You can see that Appicha Kata and Santutti Kata, Asansagga Kata or Sila Kata, all these things, when you talk about it, will complete the Sila Visuddhi. It is attached to Sila Visuddhi. Then next one is Chitta Visuddhi. Appicha Kata, Santutti Kata, Asansagga Kata or Sila Kata, it will attach with your good qualities. That is called Sila Visuddhi. Then the next one is called Paviveka Kata. And Viryarambha Kata and Samadhi Kata, this is called Chitta Visuddhi, right? Then Sila Visuddhi, somebody comes with the good qualities. and so he will achieve the Sila Visuddhi, and after somebody achieving Sila Visuddhi, somebody can achieve Chitta Visuddhi. So this is how these 10 important topics of talk is related to these 10 noble purification. So that's why that beginning point is try to develop the good qualities, wholesome qualities. To develop wholesome qualities, we have to have 10 proper topics of discussion. So when you have the 10 topic of discussions, it will develop all the Sila Visuddhi, Chitta Visuddhi, and all the other Visuddhis, and also Panyakata will develop Ditti Visuddhi, and Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi, Magga Magga Jnanadassana Visuddhi, and Patipada Jnanadassana Visuddhi, Jnanadassana Visuddhi will develop this Panyakata. So Ditti Visuddhi, somebody having the view is called that there is a life after death. There is no life after death, or sometimes they have that eternal life after death. So this kind of a view that you can remove that Ditti Visuddhi with the Panyakata, you can achieve that Ditti Visuddhi, Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi, Magga Magga Jnanadassana Visuddhi, Patipada Jnanadassana Visuddhi, and Jnanadassana Visuddhi. If somebody achieve this one, they can achieve the enlightenment, right? So this is how all these 10 proper topics of discussion is very important. By understanding all those things, may all of us develop good qualities and follow the Sila. And from the Sila Visuddhi, we follow the Chitta Visuddhi. Then we purify our Ditti Visuddhi. We can achieve our Ditti Visuddhi, and also Kankha. We remove our doubt and we find the path and what is not the path. So in that way, we can achieve that Patipada Jnanadassana Visuddhi and Jnanadassana Visuddhi, achieve enlightenment. May all of us be fortunate to have these 10 noble purification path and achieve enlightenment in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.